Welcome to the Spotlight Project Presents. Tonight we welcome the owner of the Three-Legged Crane Pub in Uptown Oakridge, John Crane. Utopian colorist, Robert Tarr. Another visit from Trudy Hammond from the Mountain Respite and Mission Rescue Safety Animal Center. And the premiere of our new music segment, Oakridge City Lights, featuring Loren Christopher Michaels and Kai Botak. And now, please welcome your host, the very talented actress and director, Becky Chamberlain.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Spotlight Project Presents. We have an exciting show planned for you this evening. Later on, we'll be premiering our newest segment, Oakridge City Lights, featuring our very own Loren Christopher Michaels and return guest, singer and songwriter Kai Botak. But first, here is your favorite mountain kid, Avery Rule.
Hi, I'm Avery Rule. Welcome back to Mountain Kids Minute, everybody. I go disc golfing with my dad every Sunday. Let's go inside and have a bowling alley potluck party. And let's go meet my disc golf family. They might not be kids, but they're kids at heart. Let's go have fun. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't get to pie anyone in the face. I got to get to school, so I gotta go. Bye.
Welcome back. Thank you for your patience while we sort out some minor technical issues. We appreciate your patience. It is live theater, so here we are. So, as I was saying, I'm here with John Crane. Welcome back for take two. So, John, you were just telling us how you became interested in brewing. So let's go back to that.
So in a nutshell, I lived near a brewery for a little while and really enjoy beer, and so I wanted to figure out how to make it. And then it was probably 7-8 years after that. 7, 8.
Like this? Better? Okay.
We'll get it worked out. There we go.
So
I live near a brewery, enjoy the flavor of beer, and being a tinkerer, I always like to figure out how things work and operate. And I started about 5 or 6 years after that doing a homebrew project with a friend of mine, and just fell in love with the process, and always liked pubs and the community orientation of that, and I was always fascinated with that as far as like just the whole process.
Yeah. So then you went on to do some brewing in the same building when it was the Brewers Union. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. So now we brew our own draft beer as well as cask ale.
Right, but back when it was the Brewers Union, you were brewing beer then or just bartending?
Oh, no, I was just bartending
Oh,
at
okay.
the time. Yeah.
But you were brewing at Planktown?
Correct.
Ah, okay, that's
Yep.
where it was.
Yep.
So then you spent some time brewing at Planktown.
Yep, I was there for about 7 years, perfecting my craft, and I always enjoyed Ted, who owned the Brewers Union, which is now the Three-Legged Crane, and what he did, and I was really fascinated with European beers, English beers, and German and Czech lagers, so I really concentrate a lot on those. So we always have those on draft and on cask all the time.
Right. Since you've taken over the brewery, you've added brewing the draft beer in
Correct.
addition to the traditional English beer that was always being done there.
Correct.
And you've kept those recipes as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. We revisit a lot of those, or they inspire other ones. Yep.
Uh-huh. So what's your vision or your goal, your long-term goal with this?
It's pretty simple. Just kind of keep the bolts tightened and everything running really smooth. I want to do more entertainment when all this silliness gets behind us. So I'd like to open up 2, 3, 4 nights a week in the summertime of entertainment, music, and
Dancing.
bingo maybe, and different things like that. What's that? And dancing.
And dancing.
We must have dancing.
We must have
exactly.
dancing, yes.
There will be a Friday night disco.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, John. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit about the beer itself. So cask beer, for a lot of what people don't know, is it's naturally carbonated. So you take the beer and you put it in a vessel, you lock it in there, it makes its own carbonation naturally, and then you serve it over a beer engine. What we do different at the Three-Legged Crane is we harvest the yeast off the top. So we take the cream of the crop off the top and reuse this yeast, and that's what they've been doing in Europe indefinitely. They have yeast that are 200 years old that they've just used this process over and over and over again.
So
And
sort of
it's-
like a sourdough starter.
Correct. It's the
Yeah,
exact same
cool.
thing. Yeah, it doesn't die. You just keep using it over and over again. And generally in American brewing arenas, they'll use a yeast for about 10 brews and then throw it away, go to a yeast company and get a different yeast. And ours is more of a European old school method. And we're at about generation 28 right now. So that's 28 different brews with this yeast.
Oh,
And it's
cool.
happy and healthy and
Oh,
doing
wow.
some cool things. So that's kind of our own little particular take on the brewing process.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, very nice. Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for being
my
here
pleasure.
tonight. It's
Thanks
a
for
pleasure to
having
have you here. So, next, we'd like to express that if you have someone that you know that you would love to be a special guest on our show, or you just want to give us a shout out, please let us know in the comment section below. Now it is time for another episode of Magic Hands. Welcome back. I have here with me tonight Rob Tarr. Rob, welcome.
Thank you.
Rob is a local artist in Oakridge, and as you can see by these works, he is very prolific at his craft. Rob, tell us and our audience about how you began this venture into art. So I did read that you grew up with art and that you were very inspired by your father.
I was.
So
I grew up with art around me all the time. And
okay, stand by just 1 second while we get Rob a mic. Oh, it's right here.
all right.
Hold on. There you go.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Good. Okay,
So-
we're back. So, Rob, I'm asking how you began your love affair with art, and I understood that you grew up in a household where art was very important. So, why don't you tell us?
Well, I went for about 30 years from when I was living with my parents and didn't do any art for all that time. And I had an accident while I was working. I broke an ankle, fractured it actually. And it took quite a while for it to heal itself. And in that period of time, I wondered what I was going to do with my life because I didn't think I could work again. And so I picked up a box of little canvases that my wife had bought me. You know, they're just 9 by 12s. And I gave myself about 30 days. I figured that's all the canvases I had. If I can make one good painting in that time, I'll keep going. Well, I went up to the 29th day, and I didn't have one. They were all crap. and I said, okay, give me one more something. And that night I watched a movie called El Norte, means going north for these people in South America. And the thing that amazed me about these people is that they have nothing, you know, and except they have color.
Okay.
And in their lives down there, they live with color and they love it. And so the next day I painted a painting that had color. It was still crap, but it was beginning. And then I just went from there and I continued on. Every time I saw something interesting like this one here, this guy rode through my town and he had this dog on the back there facing that direction. And it just tickled me, you know. And the same thing with all this when we're down at Gold Beach.
Yeah.
This
So
seal.
let's start. Let's talk about these paintings because this is a wonderful painting. It has so much going on, and it is so lighthearted and whimsical, colorful, by far, very colorful. So tell me, you said you saw a man driving.
Well, this guy drove through my town.
Okay.
And I called him Motorcycle Mike and Mr. Cool. The dog's Mr. Cool. And I just pictured him riding through his town, and this is called Motorcycle Mike and Mr. Cool Visit the Valley of the Flying Dogs. So, to me, it's magical. And
It is very magical.
That's what it was.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Okay, it's broken anyway,
It's
so don't worry.
fine. So behind me here, this is amazing. This is
one
not
of my...
only very large pieces. You like to do large pieces? Is that?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
It's too much work, but I have done quite a few of them.
Yeah.
But this one here is a Cadillac, and it started. I started it back in 2010, and I had to move my studio twice,
Okay.
and I took this apart. And the second time I went to put it back together, it ripped. The canvas ripped.
Oh no.
And I freaked out and I said, oh God, I'll never finish this thing. So I wrapped it up and put it away for another few years until I moved here to the WAC, into my studio. And I said, I'm going to give this one more try. So I researched how to fix rips in canvases.
Oh.
It was very simple. You just use a little Elmer's glue and some canvas and
Okay.
perfect. And so I put it together, restretched it, and this is what came out of it.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
The dogs in it are they're very easy to love. They're so adorable.
Well, you know, in my life and the way I feel about the art is that I want it to be happy, make you feel happy when you look at it.
Oh, it does.
And
definitely.
to me, dogs do that for people. You know,
Yeah.
You can be miserable for 1 minute, and a cute little dog runs up to you, and you say, "Oh, whoa, 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 I love this dog." You know, and so that's why I paint dogs.
Well, I love it. So talk to me about what's happening here.
That was at Gold Beach. We were down there with our dog Molly, and we had just gotten onto the beach and we saw the seal climb up on that log there, and she went over there and she's looking at it, and the seal's looking at her, and it was just the greatest thing, you know. And then the seal just decided she had enough and she left. But this is what came out of it for me.
Well, that is wonderful. Now, do you work from pictures, or do you just have sort of a vision in your mind?
Occasionally, I'll use a photograph as a starting point, as inspiration. Like I just finished painting today, that I took a picture of something a week or so ago, and it inspired me to do something. It's not at all like what the picture is, but it gave me inspiration.
Sure.
And I have done a few that I've taken from my own photographs.
Yeah.
But I prefer just to go from my inside. You know, it's all intuitive painting. So.
Yeah.
And I'll paint in all different sizes, this being the largest one, and I usually paint in a 32 by 44 size because it's easier for me to handle.
Yeah.
I'm getting,
Yeah.
you know.
So where can the community find your artwork?
Well, they can find it online right now. I'm not in any galleries. I am looking for a gallery in maybe Portland or San Francisco or something.
Bandon, something
Bandon,
down by the coast.
something out there, and but they can only find me online right now.
So where online would they look for you?
Well, you go to Robert Martin Tarr at Yahoo. Excuse me, that's my address. No, it's
We'll do that again. Hang on.
Robert Martin Tarr, utopiancolors.com.
Perfect. It's hard.
I say my email site so often that it just gets mixed in.
Exactly.
Next time I'm going to use a small word.
Well, thank you, Robert. I absolutely adore your art. It is gorgeous. I've been in places here in Oakridge where people have had your art hanging, and I love that so much. And that's where I was first introduced to your work.
I remember.
Was seeing it in others' homes. So thank you for being here. Your art is amazing, and we wish you all the best.
Thanks for having me, Becky.
Yes, thank you. So this week, Katrina Davis sat down with the owner of Deep Woods Distillery, Mick Garvin.
It's Community Corner with Katrina Davis.
Hi, and welcome to Community Corner with Katrina Davis. Today I'm here with Mick Garvin, owner of Deep Woods Distillery in the uptown area of Oakridge. Thank you for joining us, Mick. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me aboard.
So how long has Deep Woods been here?
We've been licensed to sell for almost exactly 5 years. October of 16 was when we got moving. We'd been in the building and getting ready for about 2 years prior to that. Was a process.
Yes, great. So what is the process of distilling different types of spirits?
Here we basically work with an Irish malt barley. Ireland's good for not throwing Roundup on their grain. And it's really simple. You get the water hot, you put the barley in it, you let it sit until all the starches are broken loose and then converted to a fermentable sugar, pour it into fermenters. 3 or 4 days later, get it out of the fermenters, put it into the kettle, and strip it. And after you've done that 3 or 4 times, you put everything back in the kettle and pull off your whiskey.
How did you get interested in the science behind it all?
Well, I needed something that got me out of working in the forest in the wintertime. My hands were giving me grief, and I needed something that I was really interested in. And it was after I got into it that I started getting into the science of it and actually found my geek. You get 2 or 3 of us together and we'll start speaking in tongues. It's kind of like mountain bikers and bird watchers. And yeah, I needed to be really engaged, otherwise I was just going to be that bad employee. So this was the only thing I could see I could work myself into.
Well, you've pulled it off nicely.
Thank you.
Deep Woods has grown beyond a tasting room, as a lot of people know. Where can people sample or purchase your products?
There are a few places where a few of our articles are for sale. I couldn't name them. You'd have to go on Oregon Liquor Search to find out what stores are carrying them. But mostly we just market out of our shop. Oakridge draws an international crowd. It's also a pass-through for people going north and south. And we get a lot of repeat business every season. I'll see the same people, or one of them has sent their friend in with a shopping list on their cell phone so they can restock their bar. I learned from Ted Sowell, rest him, that if you make something that's really different from everybody else's material, people will make the effort to go find that. You can find an IPA in just about any brew house in Oregon, but you couldn't find a good English-style ale in most of the rest of the U.S. And watching what he was doing with that, I thought, if I was making stuff that was really unique, you couldn't find that anyplace else, I would get the same response. It's been pretty good. The last year and a half has been not so good for obvious reasons, but yeah, that was the strategy, and it seems to be working out.
Great.
They come to us.
Yes, yeah, and that's an ideal way to have a business. You also have the insensitive wetlands area outside, which is a wonderful outdoor seating and entertaining area with a stage featuring some very talented performers. What brought that idea up?
When you work on Saturdays and you want to see a show, then you better work on bringing the show to you. And like our labels are a lot, mostly entirely local artists, you scratch the surface and all of a sudden there's musicians falling all over Oakridge. And so I was able to get a lot of different talent, plus I knew some people in the valley and some people in the Coast Range. And so we just started. We've improved the stage. It survived the snowpocalypse. And last year we were the only live music venue in the county for a while, and we had people calling from the valley and from the Coast Range saying, saw that you're putting music on stage, can we get in on that? And so we've got a lot of friends that allow us to have a constant rotation of really high quality music. And it varies. I will decide that it's time to have somebody sing opera, or it's country time, it's Irish time, it's rhythm and blues. I can do just about everything except hip-hop and death metal. It's a residential neighborhood.
Right.
So.
And you also have an interest in medieval weaponry and even built several replicas over the years. How did that all begin?
I've wanted to do that for decades, and it wasn't until I joined the Oakridge Chamber of Commerce. At the same time, I think Jason Niemer joined, and Jason wanted to do a harvest festival. And then it was like, let's make a garden and plant pumpkins. And the minute I heard pumpkins, I'm going, yes, and I managed to get sign-off from the mayor and the city administrator. All this time I've had these crazy friends, and they've helped me with different crazy projects, but no one would get behind, we're going to build a trebuchet and throw things. And it wasn't until last year that, yeah, let's chuck pumpkins. And we built the beast that's out there holding up our light strings, and we're going to engage again. Date, October 30th and 31st. And yeah, I was just always fascinated with the old weapons, and some of them are gloriously simple, and then the trebuchet is just this beautiful counterweighted swinging, you see it in the movies.
Trebuchets are a counterweighted rock throwing device. They were much longer ranged and much more accurate than a catapult. I got interested in trebuchets as a kid. My great to the 27th grandfather, Edward II, commissioned the world's largest trebuchet, the Warwolf. So I think I kind of come by it naturally. I've built unusual and unlikely things before, and so with the support of the chamber, I felt licensed to finally realize a dream. And so I think next year we are going to endeavor to build a dragon boat.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
That'll be cool.
So many catapults you can build.
Yes. Yeah. So stay tuned for the dragon boat. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mick, for your time this morning.
Thanks
we
a lot.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we will see you all next time with another edition of Community Corner.
Welcome back. Beginning tonight, we'll be featuring a variety of talented musicians coming together to jam and share their passion for music. Here are Loren Christopher Michaels and Kai Botak in our newest musical segment, Oakridge City Lights.
All right. Well, hey, Kai.
All right, hey.
Whoops, being the microphone. That was smooth.
I usually do that.
Well, guess we're finally getting to play together.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's
Thanks for
gonna be fun.
asking me to do this with you.
You bet. Thanks for being on the first episode of Oakridge City Lights.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got this idea actually from, I was inspired by Austin City Limits. We talked about this before. It's a show on PBS, and they would have Jackson Brown and all these different performers. And I just jam along with them. And that's kind of what I want to do with Oakridge City Lights. We have so many great musicians here in town. I like to just get them all together, you know, all these guys that never played together. Have them sit down and just jam and see what happens.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Now, you're a singer-songwriter, and how long have you been doing that? I mean, what inspired you to become a singer-songwriter?
Well, you know, when I was a little kid, I'd walk to school and I would be like belting out words, and I'd be like, wow, that's kind of sounds like I'm writing Broadway shows, you know. Always wish somebody could hear me, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Were you shy?
Oh, man. Oh, I was shy. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I still don't. but, but, you know, it's just, it's that thing that's always fun and that you just always have to do.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just that thing that sticks with you through life. I mean, we go in and out of art, and we do all kinds of different things throughout life, and some go and they come back, and then they go and then they come back. This is the one thing that in my life has always been constant.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing.
You know, when I was jamming, when I first learned music, I started basically the same time I was doing magic, and we're not going to talk about the magic, but that was my primary. But I also did music, but I could not sing in front of people. I mean, I was just scared to death to sing in front of people, and even when I was out by myself, I could go out to the desert by myself, and I still wouldn't project because I would hear myself.
Oh, you
And-
got a beautiful voice.
Well,
I'm glad you
thanks.
finally broke that.
Well, I actually forced myself. The way I did it is, even when I got to the point where I was touring with shows and stuff, I had a guitar backstage. And one night, I figured if I'm going to ever do this, then I better do it now. So during intermission, I set a microphone out in the middle of the stage, got my guitar, and said, "Open the curtain." Wow. And that's how I did it.
Ooh,
Trial by
that's
fire.
brave. Did you get a good response?
Well, after everybody left, the janitor really enjoyed it. No, actually, I had a good response. But I was scared, you know, cotton mouth.
Yeah.
It's just like, I
Oh,
looked
yeah.
just like a Q-tip by the end of that. But yeah, do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Yes, I was living in LA, and I was stuck on playing this song "Zombie" over and over and over and over and over again, because it was the only song I thought that I was good at, right? Because it was the only one I really had tried, or didn't try, shall we say. It was just very natural. And somebody came up to me one time and they were like, please play something else. And I got offended, and I was like embarrassed, and so I walked down the boardwalk, and somebody had told me that Jim Morrison had used to write songs over on this hill by this tree. So I went over there and I wrote my first song, and it was really cool. I felt like I was channeling Jim Morrison. Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
cool.
It was a dark song. It was called "Wasting Time."
Well.
But yeah, that was my first.
Yeah, well, I think I wrote my first song I was 9 years old. We were camping on the beach, and I, at 9 years old, fell in love with a little girl that was like 2 campsites down, who didn't even know I existed for the entire camping trip. So it wasn't like she was, oh, come to me. It was like, who are you? But, boy, man, that was the song. Here, I'll play for you. Okay, it goes. I met a girl the other night.
Funk rock.
I loved her so, I held her tight. And then it goes on for like the equivalent of War and Peace.
That's awesome. Oh,
But
that's awesome.
it fascinated me that I was able to rhyme words and put music to it. And then, being just who I am, I got another friend of mine named Paul Fody. He went on to be the bass player for Love and Spoonful, but then he played the tambourine and the guitar part. Believe it or not, he would go dun dun dun, and he'd hit it with his foot, and I played the organ going ee dee 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 dee. But when I was done, I had a reel-to-reel tape recorder. I recorded it, and then I got the number to Columbia Records at 9 years old and called up. They didn't let me speak to the actual president, which I was trying to do, just to let them know we had a hit for them. So, let's do some songs.
All right.
Now, the first song I chose is, and we're not trying to be a downer or anything else here, but this is for my brother Bill. He's my older brother, and he moved back to Tennessee about 8 months ago, something like that. Well, unfortunately, he's now fighting COVID, and he's in intensive care.
Oh.
And but he's fighting. He's a stubborn old coot, and God love him, he'll get out of this. But I wanted to dedicate this song to him, and it's the only song we're going to do that you and I didn't, or that you didn't write or I didn't write. And it's by the Bee Gees. And my brother had just a massive vinyl collection, little vinyl. We called them records back in my day. But, and he would always take me in his room and go, you gotta listen to this song, you gotta listen to everything from Procol Harum to Creedence Clearwater. But his favorite group was the Bee Gees. And it always has been, you know, he loves the Bee Gees. And so I decided to do this song. It's for my brother Bill. And so, shall we give it a shot?
Let's give it a shot. I know you put this on the teleprompter because I don't quite know all the words, so
That's
I'm
right.
going
Just so
to
all you
debut my new glasses.
and just to let all you folks out there know that, you know, we didn't put up music stands, but don't be impressed that we memorized all these songs. We actually have 2 big teleprompters out there. Okay, this one's for you, Bill. Get better and get home. It's To Love Somebody.
There's a light, a certain kind of light, never shone on me. All my life Oh, so very glad I'm a man. Can't you see what I am? Living here for you. What good does it do if I ain't got you? Ain't got you. You don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Love somebody. Love somebody. Baby, I love you. You don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Love somebody. Love somebody. The way I love you.
Hey, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, that's for you, Bill. Get better. Get home.
Get better, Bill.
Yeah.
Bill from Tennessee.
Okay. So, speaking of original songs now, next one we're going to do is a song you wrote called Never Look Back,
Never
right?
Look Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a country song wannabe.
Yeah? Okay, that's cool. Well, I can add a little
Yeah,
country
yeah, right
I'm
on.
going to join you on it.
All right.
So, what inspired the song?
I cannot tell that story.
No? Okay, well, I've got a few like that, trust me. And by the way, it's off your Awake album,
Yes, this is
Right.
off the Awake album.
which, folks, is available on iTunes. Just a little bit of a plug. Okay, I'm going to actually be joining Kai on this just a little bit. She's invited me into her inner sanctum when it comes to singing along with the song. And I'm going to try a little bit of country feel to this.
Right on.
So-
All right, here we go. I don't need my glasses for this one.
There you go. Good for you.
Never look back again. What's done is done. Be here now instead. On a cold dark night in bed, he comes to me, and I rest my weary head. I've lived for so long, this love was killing me. I've lived for so long, but then you were right in front of me. You were my teacher, you were my man. You were everything that I couldn't stand. Something came and broke the dam. Now I came a woman.
Never stop feeling what's gone is gone. Been there, here instead. Pick me up out of the ditch, and she comes. Press my weary head, and I believe for so long this love was killing me. I believe for so long that you were right here for me. You were my teacher, you were my friend. You were everything that I couldn't stand. Something came and broke the dam. And I became the man.
Sometimes you got head when it comes crashing in. Sometimes you wonder, man, for a place to begin. Sometimes you got head waves
That was great.
One more song I'm going to do. It's a song I wrote, I don't know, quite a while ago. It's called Worth the Ride. And it's funny because I wasn't even planning on writing this song. I was out drinking with a friend of mine, and we were talking about, you know, spent the night talking about old heartbreaks and things like that. And, after we got done with this walk down misery lane, I summarized the whole evening by just turning to him and say, well, love don't make the world go round, but it makes it worth the ride.
Ooh, that's good.
And that was the thing. I didn't plan that, and the songwriter in my head just went, whoa, that's a hook. And
Nice.
for you folks that don't know what a hook is, every songwriter is looking for the hook. That's that thing that draws people in when they listen, and that's what we try to create is little hooks. So I decided, well, I better get home at some point and write the rest of the words all the way around that phrase. I guess everybody goes through, you know, one relationship where it's kind of one-sided. It's that one person out there who's always friendly to you when they're drinking, or they're lonely, or they need $5 or whatever it is. But you know, those are devastating to some people. So I wrote this song. It's called Worth the Ride, but I guarantee you, no matter what, and I'm sure you're the same way, all the relationships in our lives, as my wife says, she kissed a lot of frogs.
Yeah.
And then she finally met a prince, and I met my princess. So it was all worth it. And that's what makes this whole world go round is, well, love.
Love. All right.
That and taco time. I like taco time too. Okay, we're going to do the song Worth the Ride. Here we go. 3, 4. She only loves me when she's crying. She only loves me when she's in pain. 'Cause when the sun is out there shining, seems she barely knows my name. She only loves me when she's drinking, or she's out there getting high. But the problem this cowboy's facing is gonna love her till he dies. 'Cause love don't make this world go round. It just makes it worth the ride. And the one thing that this cowboy knows is gonna love her all his life. She only loves me when she's lonely, or she's lost her way somehow. The only time she ever phones me is when the walls are falling down. The only time she ever needs me is to calm her restless nights. And the only time she holds me is when she needs to run and hide. 'Cause love don't make this world go round. It just makes it worth the ride. And the only thing this cowboy knows is gonna love her all his life. She only calls me when she's dreaming of being somewhere far away, or when she's fighting all her demons seem to rule her night and day.
feel her touch me when there's no one else around. And I know she only needs me when the world is crashing down. 'Cause love don't make this world go round. It just makes it worth the ride. And though I love her from a distance, I'm gonna love her all my life. 'Cause love don't make this world go round. It just makes it worth the ride. And the one thing that this cowboy knows, he's gonna love her all his life. Oh no, love don't make this world go round. It just makes it worth the ride. And the one thing that this cowboy knows, I'm gonna love you all my life. That was cool.
That was cool. Thank you, Loren. Beautiful
Thank you,
song.
Kai. And thanks for being a part of all this. And you guys out there, all you musicians out there, we want to get you together. And it doesn't matter if you're in a band or just by yourself solo. Get you together and just start jamming and making music because, well, that's what it's all about, huh?
Super fun.
All right. Well, I think it's time, folks. Say goodnight to everybody. But I'd like to get all you musicians out there to get together, get a hold of us here at the Spotlight Project to do Oakridge City Lights. And thank you, Kai, for being a part of all.
Thank you, Loren, for having me. It was great to jam with you.
Bye-bye.
Next, returning to our show is Trudy Hammond with the Mountain Respite Mission Rescue Safety Animal Center. She's brought with her today another animal looking for his forever family. Hi. Welcome back, Trudy. I'm going to use this because I think we're having a little bit of mic difficulty tonight.
Well, thank you for holding it because I have to use two hands.
Yes.
Quite a bit.
I thought that would be appropriate. So who have you brought with us here today?
This is Moose. He's 3 years old, and we've had him for 1 year and 3 months, and he's had complete rehabilitation and is ready for a forever home.
Very nice. And how old do you think Moose is?
3 years and 3 months.
3 years and 3 months. Well, that's wonderful. And I think we have a card to feature your information on.
Yes.
But for maybe those people who don't know, we have to get creative here. What is the best way to reach you if someone is interested in Moose?
541-214-5821.
Well, thank you, Trudy. This is wonderful. We love having pet guests on our show. And if you are interested in Moose, please give Trudy a call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky.
Well, that about wraps up our show this evening. I think in our opening, we missed that we are having a Halloween or a seasonal show on the 24th, and I think I might be getting to that in just a minute. But first, I want to thank all of our guests on tonight's show and thank all of you for tuning in. And while you're tuning in, we really could use some funds. If you haven't noticed, we've been having some technical difficulty from time to time. And if you would like to donate to our cause and keep the arts alive in Oakridge, please do so. We have a GoFundMe going, and you can find that here on our Facebook page. Also, we would like to invite you to join us for our big Halloween special on Sunday, October 24th at 7 p.m. It'll be a great one. Thank you all very much. Good night.
Join us Sunday, October 24th at 7 p.m. for our Haunted Halloween special. An evening full of magic, music, and things that go bump in the night.